Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. In today's video, we're going to talk about a few things that you shouldn't do when you come to Berlin. This city is filled with fun and cool things to do, but there are a few things you should avoid doing when you're here. If you avoid these things, your trip's going to be a lot better and you're going to have a lot more fun. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so, and let me know in the comments if you've been to Berlin and what your favorite thing to do is here. Or if you're coming to Berlin, let me know what you're most looking forward to. One of the main questions I get when people come to Berlin is, where's the center? Because of the size of Berlin and because of its unique history of being a divided city, there really isn't a center in Berlin like you might find in Paris or London, places like that, New York City. There's actually like two centers. You have Alexanderplatz, which was the center of old East Berlin, and then you had Kurfürstendamm, which was sort of the center of West Berlin. Today, they're both pretty popular areas with shopping and things like that. I don't know that I would consider either of them really centers of the city, but they're focal points of the city. Each district, there are 12 districts in Berlin, each district sort of has its own center. So you can find areas that you might consider the center of the city in other places. You can find these areas all throughout Berlin. So when you visit, don't just go to Mitte, don't just stay on Unter den Linden, don't just stay there. Don't just go to Kurfürstendamm and walk Kurfürstenstraße, see the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church. Do those things, but get out. Get to Neukölln and see the Rathaus at Neukölln. See the busy atmosphere of Neukölln. Go to Kreuzberg. Try these different areas and see these different areas, and don't just look for a center of the city. One thing you should never do while you're in Berlin: don't swim in the Spree or the Landwehr Canal. It's disgusting. Unless you're really wanting to get some sort of infection or disease, don't swim in the Spree or the Landwehr Canal. They're really dirty. The Spree and the Landwehr Canal serve as overflows for Berlin's sewage system when it rains a lot. And trust me, you don't want to swim in that. So just don't do it. Don't do it at all. So another thing you shouldn't do in Berlin is think that Mustafa's is the only kebab shop that's any good here. It's fine, but usually you're gonna wait like 2 hours. Mustafa's is a chicken kebab, Gemüse kebab stand. It's very good. There are so many other options in Berlin. My absolute favorite kebab place is called Emren. It's a classical kebab. It uses fresh veal meat. If you want a chicken kebab, Riyadh is the place to go. It's really good, and you're not going to wait 2 hours. Don't think you have to come to Mustafa's just because you've seen it on YouTube videos and you've seen it on vlogs. There are many other kebab shops in Berlin. There are almost 1,000 kebab shops in Berlin. This is only one of them, and it's a pretty good one, but there are others that are just as good, if not better. Another thing you shouldn't do is think you're going to see anything original when you come to Checkpoint Charlie. Everything that's here is a replica of what was here before. So, yes, this site has significance, but I wouldn't say anything here is really significant. It is really just an opportunity to take selfies. It's one of these places kind of like, I don't know, the Eiffel Tower, where when you come to Berlin, you have to see it, and I understand that. Just know when you come, everything here has been recreated. The original cabin is in the Allied Museum in Steglitz. Even the supposed sandbags are just concrete. Just be aware of that. When you come here, don't think anything here is original. So now, I'm not saying don't come to Checkpoint Charlie, but when you do come to Checkpoint Charlie, do check out Black Box Cold War. It is quite a nice exhibit, and I think it's worth seeing. So make the trip to Checkpoint Charlie worthwhile. See the Black Box Cold War. When using public transportation, don't forget to buy your ticket. Unlike cities like Paris, London, or New York, where you have to have a ticket to enter the metro station, or you have to tap in when you get on the bus, Berlin's system is a trust-based system. You can purchase your ticket before you get on the metro at one of the kiosks or through the BVG app, and roving teams of checkers will randomly check for tickets. It doesn't happen extremely often, but it does happen. The most German answer I've ever heard about why people wouldn't just ride for free is because it's against the law. And actually, studies show that the removal of fare barriers doesn't actually lead to a rise in fare evasion, and also increases efficiency, punctuality, and customer satisfaction. I have probably been checked a dozen times in my 3 years in Berlin, so while it may be tempting to just hop on an U-Bahn without buying a ticket, know that if you do, there is a €60 fine, and you don't want to be a Schwarzfahrer. Just buy a ticket, they aren't expensive. I made a whole video on using the Berlin public transportation system that I'll link here. This is a simple one. When you're riding an escalator, stay on the right. People will often walk up the escalator on the left side, so unless you want to get a little tap on your shoulder saying Entschuldigung, stay to the right. Don't be the rude tourist. When you're walking around Berlin and having a drink, don't throw your bottles in the trash can. They go next to the garbage can, but not in it. This is because most bottles and cans have a refundable deposit. If you can't or don't want to take your bottle to the nearest supermarket yourself, you can do your less well-off fellow citizens a favor and save them the trouble of digging through the garbage. By leaving the bottles under the garbage cans, the bottle collectors can pick them up and get the refund. You might also find that if you're drinking at a park, a bottle collector may come up to you and ask for your empties. If you have some empties, just give them your bottles. It saves you a trip to the garbage can, and it's just a nice thing to do that will give you some karma points. Now, another thing you probably shouldn't do when you come to Berlin is go up in the TV tower. I know you're really high, but it costs €28 to go up in it, and Berlin is so flat that you don't need to be that high to see a good view. Right behind it, there's a hotel, the Park Inn. If you go up in the Park Inn, it's only €6 to go to their viewing platform, and you can see just as well. Plus, if you're in the TV tower, you can't get a photo of the TV tower. But if you go up in the Park Inn, you can get a photo with the TV tower in. Another place for a nice view is the Humboldt Forum down Unter den Linden. If you want to go up in the Siegessäule, the Victory Column, it has a pretty nice and unique view. But if you're feeling really adventurous and want to get out, go to the former American spy station at Teufelsberg. It's really good view, it's really high, and it's a lot of good street art there. Skip paying the €30 or however much it is to go up in the TV tower. Check out one of these other places. Also, if you want to eat up there, just so you know, the kitchen is in the basement, and all of the food has to go up the elevator to get to the tables. So I've heard it's decidedly mediocre, and it's pretty expensive. Berlin is filled with a lot of pretty horrific history. If you are not a history person, or if you get overwhelmed with it, don't think you have to see everything. You don't. See as much or as little as you want. I'm not going to tell you not to see anything because I think it's an important part of history, but I'm a history guy. If it's not your thing, there are plenty of other things to do in Berlin. If you're a museum lover, there are 5 UNESCO World Heritage Site museums on Museum Island. If you're into museums, that's the place to go. If you're into art, there are plenty of art museums and art galleries around. If you are into music, if you're into clubs, you can do that. So don't think you have to see all of these sites. You don't. See as much or as little as you want. Whatever you want to do, you can find it here. I highly suggest coming to the Topography of Terror. But if you do want to see these sites, I give a World War II tour. It's 4 hours long. It's great. I'll put a link in the description. If you're interested in that, this is not an ad or anything. I'm not selling it. Send me a message and we can do a tour. With the exception of swimming in the Spree and the Landwehr Canal, don't think if you do any of these things, your vacation is going to be ruined. But I think if you avoid these things, your vacation will be just a little bit better. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so. If you've been to Berlin, Tell me what your favorite part about it is. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later.